putting my cold hard cash into this collection, or if you're too young to get a job, your parents' cold hard cash into this collection, is it worth it? In a series of 3 videos, one after another, I will be answering that question at the end of the very last review. I've decided to split them all up due to the fact that they are indeed different games. I will be splitting different parts of the review for each game, with the exception of Kingdom Hearts Key back cover, into 4 separate categories, that being story, gameplay, stability, and aesthetics, in that very order. First game we're going to start with though is the remaster of the 3DS game Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance, now named Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD. Let's get into it. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance is the 7th installment in the series. It follows Sora and Riku as they go through their Mark of Mastery exam and traverse through the 7 sleeping worlds, using the power of its inhabitants, the Dream Eaters, in order to gain a new power that will help them in their battle against the main antagonist of the series, Xehanort. Though that may have sounded like a simple story to follow, many people seem to get confused near the ending where multiple plot points are introduced that throw the story for a bit of a loop. In order to fully understand, and this is more explained in the gameplay section of the review, you have to play between both Sora and Riku, as each cutscene is different for the both of them, as they both go through different events, and such events are smaller pieces to a much bigger puzzle, which connects at the end of the game. One misconception many people have with this collection, though, is that it is the best thing to start off with in order to get into the series of Kingdom Hearts if you happen to be a newcomer to the game. This, however, is not true, with it being the 7th entry in the series. The other 2 titles in the collection also happen way later in the story of Kingdom Hearts, with the exception of Kingdom Hearts Key back cover. You do want to start off with Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5, which was recently brought to the PS4. Its purpose was to have every Kingdom Hearts game, while a couple of them being movies, on the PS4 in order to make it easier for old and new fans alike to access the games with extreme ease. All in all, Dream Drop Distance has a pretty compelling story, well, for those who have been keeping up with the series and have played the other games. If not, I do not recommend touching 2.8 as a whole until you have played Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 for the PS4. Moving to the gameplay segment, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD uses the very well-known Command Deck system from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix and Kingdom Hearts Recoded. In this battle system, the player has the option to add certain physical attacks and/or magics to their arsenal that they are able to use with a simple press of a button. The Dream Eaters are also important parts of the gameplay, as they are beings you earn both your commands and abilities from. This is drastically different from the other Kingdom Hearts titles that use the command menu battle system, where you unlock abilities depending on which level you reach. The Dream Eaters also act as your party members in Dream Drop Distance HD and are able to use most of the same commands that you can, as well as being able to heal you if you're in a pinch or combine with you in order to use devastating attacks. Speaking of Dream Eaters though, some major changes were made to accommodate the PS4, such as the minigames with your Dream Eaters, and even Reality Shift was made to be played differently with the DualShock 4 controller, since most touch control required actions are mapped to different buttons now. You would think that it would be awkward to control being so used to having to touch your screen for Dream Eater interaction or even Reality Shift, but no, this was a much needed change that I for one welcomed to the PS4. For example, in the Flick Rush minigame, instead of flicking cards with your stylus, all you have to do to play a card is to press the X button. Another example would be something like the Wonder Comic Reality Shift in the Country of Musketeers world. In the original 3DS game, the player moved the stylus in whatever prompt the game told the player, but on the PS4, you simply move your analog stick in the direction it tells you, and you can pull it off no problem. Again, I find this to be a very nice change. They could have mapped some of the gameplay options to the PS4 touchpad, but luckily for us, they did not and went with the safe route. Another aspect of the gameplay is the drop gauge. Remember when I said that you have to play as both Sora and Riku in order to get the full story of Dream Drop Distance? Well, this is what I meant. The drop gauge is a meter that shows near Sora and Riku's HP bar. The meter depletes with time, and once it's completely out, you are forced to switch to the opposite character no matter what you're doing. This may prove to be a gigantic annoyance if you're in the middle of a boss fight with one of the characters, for example, and the meter goes out, and you're forced to go back to the other. And if you try and drop back thinking that you'll be at the exact same point in that boss fight that you were before you dropped, I have some bad news for you, you're not. You have to start the same boss fight from the very beginning. This was a problem in the original 3DS, but was not tampered with when it was brought to the PS4. Though, don't worry, the game does have a way to remedy this. There are 2 items in the game that can reset your drop gauge, the Drop Me Not and Drop Me Never items. If you are in the middle of an important boss fight, or trying to focus on one world with either of the characters, you are able to use these items to reset your gauge and continue playing. You are also able to drop between the 2 characters whenever you want from the main menu if you so please. The last aspect of gameplay that was newly introduced as of this title is flow motion. Flow motion is a fast and creative way to get around the world and to get chests that would otherwise be in unreachable areas. Part of the reasons of why it was introduced is because of the size of the worlds in question. Flow motion can also be used in battle, and I must say it is very effective, possibly too effective as it's able to take out almost any enemy with relative ease just by spamming it. Flow motion isn't very deep, so it's pretty easy to understand and incorporate into either battle or traversing through the worlds. One thing to note that getting abilities such as glide and high jump in this game is pretty much useless, as flow motion is able to get you anywhere you want to go and get those chests that would normally be out of your reach before you get abilities such as high jump or glide. As far as stability and aesthetics go, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD runs at 1080p and at a locked 60 frames per second on the regular PS4 and PS4 Pro, with an added 4K resolution to the PS4 Pro. Though one thing to mention quickly is that only the gameplay is 60 frames per second and the cutscenes are in the 30 frames per second. The game looks absolutely beautiful on PS4. The touched up models are really nice to look at and it's just easy on the eyes. As for how the game runs on PS4 compared to how it did on the 3DS, it runs great. I believe there are still some glitches from the 3DS that appear on the PS4, but none that are really game breaking or appear all too often in general. Now the next thing we're going to be talking about would be the loading times. If you guys remember, Dream Drop Distance loaded pretty good pace on the 3DS, but with the HD port being on the PS4, you would think that the load times would be a little better, right? Oh my god, yo, the load times, look at that. It only spun once. The heart only spun once, and guess what? In 1.5 or 2.5, it's not even there. There are no load times. Oh my god, Square, thank you. That is to say that the very fast load times would make for a much nicer experience with the already amazing locked 60 FPS gameplay. With any Kingdom Hearts game though, you also have the music, and boy, if you know Kingdom Hearts, you know that there is really never a problem with its soundtrack. Each OST in the game for its specific situation, in my opinion, fits very well with the overall feel with the game, and does not take you out of the experience whatsoever. In the end, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD is a great remaster and a much needed experience for those wondering to buy the collection or if you didn't have the chance to play the game on 3DS. If you enjoy Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, you will probably have a great time with this game, as both are somewhat similar in terms of gameplay. If you prefer the command menu style gameplay like what Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 0.2 have to offer, as I do, you will still be able to enjoy it, but probably not to the same extent. This was the first part out of 3 parts of the review, as I said at the beginning of the video. The second part of the review will cover the next game in the collection, Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage. I hope you guys enjoyed the first part of the review, but as it's not over yet, I will see you guys in the next part soon. It's been LuFarm72. Peace out.